Hey, Perfect Spirit. I'm Sam Shelley, and they call me the Miracle Man. Now, let's create that miracle in your life right here, right now. So, if you're new to my channel, welcome. So, all I usually share about is this head trash, how it's creating all these noise, limitations, disease, illness, sickness, that this is a creator of a lot of stuff. We need to throw that out and really tap into our perfect spirit, that soul, the consciousness, and live our best life, not with the restrictions up here. So today I want to talk about imposter syndrome. You know, if you're feeling like an imposter, I think Seth Godin talks about this properly in his book, The Practice. So imposter syndrome, basically, it's that noise in our heads that remind us that we have no business raising our hand, jumping in the water, or standing up on stage. So we have a message to get out into the world. We weren't here to hide in a closet. We're out here to share our message, to make a difference in the world, to put our dent, to make our stamp. But yet this mind comes along and says, oh, you don't have the skills, you don't have the talents, you're not the right age, you're not the right sex. Who are you to say this? Actually, I had a publisher say that to me after my healing journey. She basically says, why are you the authority to write a book on this? That's head trash. The authority is that we have that personal experience that can make a difference in someone else's life. That someone's going through multiple sclerosis, bipolar. You know, there's tips that I know to help them out of this. That we all feel like we're fake, that we're not good enough. But how do we really get out of that? That's what I want to talk about today. You know, how do we really get out of this imposter syndrome? To realize that our voice does matter. It does make a difference. Well, all begins by clearing that head trash. To see what makes that story true. You don't have the skill to do this. Okay, why is that true? You're not the right age to do this. Oh, why is that true? The mind's always coming up with all these excuses, but do we really step back and say, why is that true? And you'll see it's not true. People from all ranges of life are sharing their stories, sharing their work, doing the practice of not allowing this to limit them. All that garbage, all that nonsense. That's what it is. It's creating these false limitations. So you have to realize with the mind, you can either pay attention to the thoughts up here, or you can pay attention to this deeper voice within you. Now you got to realize the voice up here is not in this moment. It's living the past or guessing the future. Oh, if I go up on stage, all these people are going to laugh at me. They're going to make fun of me. And you don't take action because this mind's inventing a story. And yeah, the first time you speak up, it's probably not going to meet your expectations. It's probably not going to go that great, but you have to do it anyway because it builds our skills. Like no one became an overnight success. They had to build their skills and they failed a lot, but there's no real failure. It's just simply feedback to try a different way, try a different method, try something new, something different. So we have to go through a lot of trial. Lots of trials, this work, that doesn't work. Lots of experiments, that's what it really is. Lots of experiments till you really aren't dealing with imposter syndrome. You really do have the skills. But everyone has the talent, if you will, within them. They just haven't refined it. They haven't done the work. And the work is just really keeping yourself here in this moment. You could be in this mind that's future guessing or, you know, looking behind you, dwelling on the past, reminding you how things didn't go as expected last time. But that's just it. It's a false expectation. It's like when the mind looks back and regret. Your skills were right here. Then over time, they develop here. But when you look back, your skills are up here, looking back at this point. So yeah, you make these leaps all the time. But the mind doesn't care about that. It just simply says, you could do better. You could do better. But that's where your skills are at this moment in time. And that's all that really matters in this moment of time. And it's all about getting out there, sharing your work. What good is your wisdom, your insights, your experiences, if you're not sharing it with the world, maybe a blog post on Medium, Facebook post, a YouTube video. There's all sorts of ways to share your message, to get that voice out into the world, because you're here to make a difference, to leave an impact. But most of us become wallflowers, thinking that what we have to say doesn't matter, not going to make a difference. But you never know who that's going to touch or who that's going to impact. So you simply have to try and keep trying, keep sharing. And that's why we're here, to have this human experience, to help everyone live a better, more fulfilled life. That most of people aren't narcissists. It isn't all about them. It's about sharing our voice into the world through any kind of media form that feels right to you. And there's no prescribed formula. It's just a matter of get myself back into this moment where all my power is and speak from this voice. And sometimes this is difficult when you're standing up in front of new people, because we're always taught that the power of these opinions, their beliefs, honestly, they really don't care about you. After they hear your words, talk to you for a few minutes, an hour from now, they're probably not going to remember you. And definitely a week from now, they're not going to be like, ooh, I wonder what Paul is doing today, if they only saw you that one time. But we get into all this drama, all these stories about how they're going to carry that opinion about us for the end of time. It's craziness from the head trash. The head trash wants to keep you constrained, limited, wants to keep you really tiny and small. But you're the infinite perfect spirit. You have a superhero within you that's looking to soar, to fly, to leap over those challenges, those issues, those problems. Because they're mostly in the mind. The mind has created all these problems, challenges, situations. For the majority of the time, the mind has created it. But yet we go to the mind to solve those same things it has created. How can it truly solve that if it's creating them? But one thing that can solve it is the consciousness, that soul within you. But we just have to just simply relax, slow it down, come back to here. So just right here, bring yourself back into the moment. Notice the purple and black background. Notice the white of my shirt. Notice my voice. Notice where your feet are standing. Notice if you're touching something. Like here's my desk. Now you can knock on it and hear that. There's all sorts of ways to get yourself back into this moment. It's not complex. I look in these spiritual groups and they're making things too complex. Too many rules. And rules are meant to be broken. The only rule, if there's any rule in life, is to be kind and gentle with ourselves, to have this unconditional love for ourselves. And when we're in this place, that ripples out into the world. It's all about taking care of us first. Like in flying an airplane, put the mask over yourself first before you do it for your toddler, your child, because you have to be the one that's healthy and strong. Like if he gets the mask first and you pass out, what's he going to do or she going to do? There's no parent there. So it's always about making yourself strong first, to take care of us first. And that is very hard to do, and it's not selfish in a selfish way. It's really stepping back into our own power of not satisfying the demands of the mind, the people pleaser, which is head trash, but really living your truth from your heart, that you know the blueprint to your life, the recipe. But we really have to focus on the daily practice, the minute by minute practice of being here in this moment. And they've actually done a study on this that I just happen to remember. People that are meditators, lots of mindfulness practice, experience the present moment 3 times longer, because it's just here observing. They're not living up in here, because when you're living up in here, you're not experiencing the present moment. You're experiencing your story, and you're here to create this new story, this new way of being, to celebrate you and to celebrate life. But we get always tied up in this story and these fears, these phobias, which are fake news. It's false. It's the mind trying to control you. But you have to take the reins back from the mind and use it as a tool. Because this mind's really a tool on how to live in a human body. Where does the food go? How do I clean myself? How to take care of myself? How do I provide for my needs? How do I gather income, resources? This is where the mind comes in handy to take those. It's a computer for the body. Spirit is filled with all this wisdom, but it needs the body to go carry out those instructions. So that's why it's also critical to take care of the body. You are not the body, but the body is your tool to carry spirit, soul around, to have that human experience, this precious human experience with the finite amount of time. So it's now the time to action, to let go of the imposter syndrome, really dive into you and your truth, because you're here for great things, for great reasons. You didn't just come to earth for no purpose. You came here with a specific purpose, to have that human experience, to make a difference. All right, well, I'm going to head out now. So take good care of yourself, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.